WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Mississippi's legislative session starts off with some shocking news. The top man in the Senate is stepping down from his leadership post after being arrested in Oktibbeha County.
Senator Terry Burton announcing today that he's stepping down as Senate President Pro Tem. Senator Burton also announced he's not running for re-election this year. Back in December, you may remember, Burton was charged with DUI by the Highway Patrol. During his speech today, he apologized for his behavior and told his colleagues that he hoped his actions did not reflect poorly on them.
During this next few months as we finish out this term, I'm turning it over to God, and I'm turning it over to the professionals that I'm working with to deal with my personal issues, demons, human frailties, whatever you want to call them.
Burton represents District 31. His resignation, that is, as Senate Pro Tem, is effective at midnight tonight.
The 2019 legislative session is officially underway. Lawmakers didn't vote or pass any pieces of legislation today, but there are several key issues that state leaders are hoping to address this year.
That's right. Our Quentin Smith spent the day at the Capitol speaking to lawmakers. He joins us now in the studio with a preview of what's to come over the next several months.
Andrea, from funding roads and bridges to giving pay raises to teachers and state employees, there are a number of key issues lawmakers are expected to discuss and vote on during this session. Now, I do want to point out this is an election year. However, lawmakers I spoke with say that won't stop them from being progressive and trying to move the state forward. It's the start of a new year, and this is where state lawmakers will spend majority of their time over the next few months gathering together to help move the Magnolia state forward.
It's always an opportunity to come down here and pass some good legislation, but the most important thing is to represent our constituency back home.
I hope that we're going to do things that is not as controversial as maybe we've had in the past. This is the first year in the last 4 years that we've had extra money.
And that extra money is a good thing. District 37 Representative Gary Chisholm says he hopes his fellow colleagues will come up with a plan to put some of those extra dollars towards improving roads and bridges all throughout the state.
You know, just like Clay County didn't get anything out of the special session. You know, Clay County is asked for a particular road in front of Pico. And so we hope to be able to do that.
Funding for roads and bridges is also at the forefront for fellow Representative Kabir Kareem. However, Kareem says he'd also like to see lawmakers pass a bill granting pay raises for teachers all throughout the state, as well as passing a bill to implement the 2% restaurant tax in Columbus and Lowndes County.
I think it's going to pass. I think we're going to be back on board this year, and hopefully we can make it retroactive where once it's passed, it can start back immediately.
On the Senate side of things, District 16 Senator Angela Turner Ford says she hopes lawmakers can do something to help with voting rights and criminal justice reform.
I know that we have a supermajority party that's in control in the Senate and the same in the House, but then at the same time we have individuals, I believe, that are willing to listen to alternate ideas and consider those. And if we do that, I think that we can all come up with something that's beneficial for all of us.
Now, this year's session will mark the very last one for Governor Phil Bryant as his second term comes to an end. The session will wrap up in April. Andrea?
Thanks, Quentin. One hot topic of last year's legislative session was funding for roads and bridges. It took a special session to make it happen, but cities and counties will be getting more money for some much needed work. Today, Columbus City Engineer Kevin Stafford talked about some of the projects in Columbus. MDOT is expected to start work in March in some of the more heavily traveled areas. 2 projects are scheduled for the 18th Avenue and Highway 82 interchange, and a roundabout is coming to downtown at Main and 2nd Street. Stafford says the aim is to improve traffic flow and safety.
It's just beginning the design phase. It'll be about a year to complete that design before we go to construction, but that's going to be a mini roundabout, not a full roundabout. So it'll slow traffic down. It'll increase safety. We're also going to add some pedestrian connectivity there that doesn't exist right now for the Riverwalk and also across the street to get down to the soccer complex.
The Main Street and 2nd Street project is a TAP funding project. The city is putting up $300,000 while MDOT has allocated $700,000.
Northern District Transportation Commissioner Mike Taggart will not seek re-election. He made the announcement today. Taggart's term ends in January of 2020. The Starkville native won a special election in 2011, then was re-elected the same year and again in 2015. Taggart says he believes the most has been made with the resources available in a responsible manner. The Republican left the door open to remain in public service. Taggart says he wanted to make the announcement before the March 1st qualifying deadline for other candidates considering running for the position. Time now to turn our attention over to weather, and meteorologist Jacob Dickey joins us with a first look at our forecast.
Hey Joey, we're going to shake things up a little bit. Believe it or not, we actually had a 3.7 magnitude earthquake happen a little before 4:30 today in the Mississippi Delta. An earthquake of this strength is a little bit unusual. Yes, they happen all the time, but this one's a bit stronger than what we normally see out there. Happened just south of Greenville, northwest of Hollandale there as a 3.7. It was revised down from a 3.9. Here's what the Richter scale looked like here. You can see where those red lines are. That's when that shaking occurred. This is the one that was up in Coffeyville that recorded that in Yalabucha County. Here's some of the damage here. Highway 438 in Washington County. This came in from James Johnson Wadlington. He is the superintendent in LaFleur County Schools. Locally here at home, though, we've got some quiet weather. We do have some rain in the distance, though. I'll talk all about that coming up in just a bit.
Just fascinating, Jacob. All right, the inmate who escaped from the Noxubee County Community Work Center on Monday is facing some new charges tonight. Noxubee County Sheriff Terry Grassery tells us Terry Pierce Jr. is being charged with escape, felony taking of a vehicle, and assault. Pierce could also be facing charges in Kemper County. That department has turned its investigation over to the MBI. Sources tell us Pierce was a cook at the CWC. A door was reportedly left open, which he used and then was able to get past a security fence. He then apparently attempted to steal a vehicle. He was met with some resistance there, but later stole a truck and then led officers on a chase. It ended in Kemper County. Well, Pierce's escape from that work center was the third in less than 4 months there in Noxubee County. The multiple escapes have many people understandably voicing their concerns about it.
Our Riley Livingston talks to residents about their fears and law enforcement about what they're trying to do to calm them. She joins us live in the studio with more. Riley?
The escape has many on edge and rethinking their routines. It also leaves them with a few questions.
It's happening too many times. We need to try to shut down on it.
Since October of last year, residents in Noxubee County have heard "lock your doors, an inmate has escaped" more times than anyone would like. And after yesterday's most recent escape, concerns are growing.
It's very scary. You know, you don't think about your safety so much because we live in a pretty secluded area. And we have been leaving our doors unlocked and cars unlocked with keys in them because we live out, but we don't do that anymore.
It doesn't make me feel too happy because I will have children and grandchildren. I want to be safe, but I'm glad that it didn't take them long to catch them.
When there's an escape, Noxubee County Sheriff Terry Grassery's goal is to keep everyone informed.
First, information. Let everybody know what's going on, like what time he escaped, as soon as he escaped, be on the lookout. Be certain if you see something suspicious, call us, and of course to let them know that we got people in the area that's helping protect them. So if they need us, just call us. We got somebody not far from them.
But the number of escapes is raising some red flags for residents.
I'm questioning the people in authority, who's in charge here, who's doing what, and who's not doing what. It's just very frightening for us.
That confusion is not new to Sheriff Grassery. He says people often get the two facilities confused, but while he's not in charge, he is ready to help out.
Like everybody, I'm on Facebook too. I seen where it says the Noxubee County Jail, but it wasn't the Noxubee County Jail. It was the Noxubee County Correctional Facility, and that is an offspring of Parchment. It wasn't my facility. It was the Parchment facility. We just joined in. Because if anything happened in Noxubee, we join in.
Grassery says it possibly comes down to who the CWC is meant to hold.
They was built more or less to hold low-level offenders. They wasn't really built to hold violent offenders. I'm quite sure they're going to come back and do something. I don't know exactly what. It's going to be up to them, but I'm quite sure they're kicking the can around.
Sheriff Grassery says when an escape alert goes out, lock your doors, keep your kids in, and keep travel at a minimum, and try to get home before dark. And he adds, listen to your animals. If your dog starts barking differently than normal, call the sheriff's department. They will come out to investigate.
There's some good advice from the sheriff. A new program is helping locals get the word out about their towns.
We take a look at some early success when we come back. An update to a story we brought you at 5. An 80-year-old Amory man is injured after his truck is hit by a train in Monroe County this afternoon. Here's video from the scene. The crash happened on Old Highway 45 just south of Aberdeen. Sheriff Cecil Cantrell says it appears the driver went down the wrong road and his truck became stuck on the tracks. The driver was getting out of the truck as the train collided with it, pinning the man underneath. Bystanders were able to get him out, and we do have an interview that you'll hear on WCBI News at 9 and 10 with one of those bystanders.
Certainly some scary moments for him. All right, most people know what makes their hometown great, but they sometimes find it hard to communicate that to others. And outreach from the Mississippi Development Authority is helping communities do just that.
It's called Aspire Mississippi. Jory Talley went to Ackerman, where they're already starting to see results.
Looking at your town through the eyes of a visitor. That's how the Mississippi Development Authority is training the Choctaw County Aspire Mississippi team.
When we started doing that, there are some things that maybe we thought we would like to improve. Not only to bring visitors here to stay and to live, because this is a great place to live, but also to make it better for the people who are here. We want to have people to stay here. We also want businesses to come here.
Deanie Graves and Julie Hughes are two locals who were chosen to be a part of the team planning for Ackerman's future.
This was something Mississippi Development Authority offered to us, and we thought it was a great idea, and so we became involved. And all of our team are leaders, and we're always looking to do things to better our community.
Last week, city leaders approved almost $10,000 to fund projects.
What we do is we choose some projects to do, some goals. We make sure that we know that they're doable. We make sure that we have some idea about how it would impact the community, and then we get it done. One of the things we've done already is to be involved in the Main Street area.
They've already made some progress in beautifying downtown, going from this to this, with more plans in store.
Phase 1, and put some trees in there. We will put sunset maple and Chinese elm. There'll be probably 12-foot trees, so they're going to be tall trees. And then we'll come in phase 2 with some shrubs, mulching, and perennial flowers.
Mayor Tim Cutts says on top of making the town more appealing, he's also hoping to make the community stronger.
Long-term goals, leadership. Leadership taking reins and pulling things and headed us in the right direction.
The team has already launched several promotional platforms for Ackerman, including a new website.
Well, we stay sunny for the next couple of days. However, the breezy winds will come from the north this time. This is going to allow some winter temperatures to arrive. We also will time out some weekend rain. I've got all that coming up for you after the break.
For WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey.
After the warm day we had, temperatures are cooling down very quickly. Already in Columbus down to 53. Those winds will continue through the night. I think they pick up. With a clear sky tonight, that's going to allow the air to really cool off fast. Radiational cooling kicks in. Didn't have that clouds to help keep the warmth in like last night. And so these temperatures are already down 10 degrees from where they were earlier tonight. 53 in Columbus, 58 in Amory, 56 in Calhoun City, Oxford at 57. They will continue to fall by tomorrow. Our highs tomorrow are in the 50s and even 40s in some spots. That's a good 20-degree drop from today, so hopefully you got to enjoy that last spring weather for just a little bit here across our area. As we look forward through the rest of the night, temperatures continue to fall. I think by 11 p.m. we're into the 40s. Overnight into the mid to upper 30s across the area under a mostly clear sky. Northwest winds will continue 5 to 10 miles an hour, perhaps gust a little higher at times. We'll get down to 38 in Macon, West Point at 37, as is Calhoun City. Oxford, 36. We'll get to 35 in Winona overnight tonight. That cold front pushes on through, and that allows that cold air to come on in through the day, staying clear on Wednesday, but those north winds will bring in that cooler air, have a little bit of a crisp to it, much more like a winter feel as we go through the afternoon and evening hours. Still, temperatures of 15 to 20 degrees cooler than this afternoon. 40s, 50s, Man, what a change we had from today as winter comes back in. High will be 53 in Columbus, 52 in West Point and in Winona, 53 in Ackerman. West Alabama, much the same, some upper 40s to low 50s. I've got 48 in Hamilton, 51 in Vernon, Reform at 52, and then into Tupelo area, 40s to the north of Tupelo, 48 in Boonville, 49 in New Albany, Tupelo, and Aberdeen and Amory, all at 50 Wednesday afternoon. We stay dry and cooler Wednesday and Thursday. High pressure bringing in some north air from us here up from Canada, but as we get into Friday, we start to watch a system move in from the west here. The coldest air stays to our north. We are in the cold rain side of things as of now. Could see quite a bit of it too. Could add another inch, if not more, in some spots across the area. Most of that will fall from Friday evening through the day on Saturday. Still Sunday, I think we could see a few showers in the morning hours, but we're dry by evening as we time that system out here. Approaching from that west, a very classic El Nino system here, staying with that rain all day Saturday. Not going to be a fun day for us. As we look through here again, very average this time of year, those temperatures where they should be, upper 40s and lower 50s. We'll be keeping our eye on rain into the weekend.
That is
Part 4 of Alabama. Clemson featured a whole lot of purple and orange. A loss for Nick Saban that hasn't happened in a while. And a lot of arguing on social media too, but that's another show. We're going to talk about the game next. Tom's next.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The series is officially tied 2-2 in the national championship. Clemson's dominating performance in last night's title game was not only surprising, but rare. Nick Saban has only experienced beatdowns like that twice in the past 15 years. And one of those was when he was in the NFL. The 28-point loss last night was Saban's worst since he lost 21-0 to the Buffalo Bills as head coach of the Miami Dolphins in 2006. And if we're talking college football, you'd have to go back to 2004 when Saban's LSU Tigers lost 45-16 to the Georgia Bulldogs. In the end, Saban says everything just went wrong on the game's biggest stage.
Couldn't get off the field on third down. We gave up a couple big-time explosive plays on third down and 13, third down and 9. We had plenty of opportunities to score offensively, have the ball at the 1 yard line, get a penalty, end up kicking a field goal, have it down there a couple more times, do a fake field goal and go for it on fourth down and don't make it, get stopped on the goal line on the 1 yard line another time. So, got to congratulate Clemson. They did a very, very good job. Quarterback's really good. Their skilled players are really good. We actually stopped the run pretty well and created enough third down situations. We just couldn't get off the field on third down. We couldn't capitalize on our opportunities that we had on offense.
National Signing Day remains less than a month away, but shakeup around the Magnolia State involving two of the state's top recruits. Louisville four-star defensive lineman Charles Moore decommits from Mississippi State. Moore announcing on his Twitter account late last night. Moore originally committed to the Bulldogs back in the summer of 2017. The Under Armour All-American has offers from Auburn, Florida, Ole Miss, and Tennessee, among many others. But he wasn't the only Under Armour All-American that made a change in his recruiting status. Jackson Prep star running back and Under Armour All-American game MVP Jarian Ely decommits from Ole Miss. Ely committed to play football and baseball for the Rebels back in 2017. The senior is listed as the nation's fourth best running back and is also a projected first-round pick in the Major League Baseball draft, MLB.com ranking him as the 18th best prospect in the country. After a 10-day break, the Bulldogs jump right into SEC play, opening conference on the road against South Carolina. The Dogs versus the Gamecocks has produced classic showdowns, MSU winning both games last year by a combined 9 points, including OT inside the hump. Ben Howland says South Carolina's defensive style always keeps them in it.
It's really physical, and they play really hard. Frank's had very good teams, and they're very well coached. They really embody him in terms of the toughness and the fight that they bring, and they're really tough defensively. They're always one of the best defensive teams in the country year in and year out, so it's always tough to score on that team.
South Carolina struggled for most of the year. They come into tonight with a 6-7 record, but here's how they opened conference play. A Hail Mary dunk to give them off to a 1-0 start thanks to a road win at Florida. Mississippi State and South Carolina tip-off at 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll have a last year forecast coming up next.
Lots of sunshine for Wednesday and Thursday, but you're going to notice a difference in the air mass. It's not a warm air mass. North winds bringing in cooler air, so be a bit chilly compared to that lovely spring weather we had today. Showers roll in on Friday afternoon. It'll be rainy on Saturday, be an indoor type of day. Very average type of year for us, though.
I will say, though, it's going to be colder. I can appreciate the abundant sunshine.
That's right, yeah. That's the
true.
one thing we have not had, cold air and sunshine.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.